What is up, guys? Welcome to Cats and Conspiracies. It's your man Codders here, doing what I can to try and bring you some entertainment, some small gems, movies that just may bring some entertainment into your world. Let's face it, I don't know about you guys, but I am done. I'm done with Hollywood. I've had enough. I can't even bear to look at it anymore. I really can't. Not only do they tell us, these films are not made for us, they clearly show us these films are not for us. And what with every celebrity just being completely tied into nefarious, dark organizations, it's just not the same anymore. I'm not going to say every celebrity. There's a few that haven't pinged up on my radar. Um, yeah, trying to think of some. Keanu Reeves, he seems to be pretty clean. I can't. I've not seen him pop up at a World Economic Forum rally, that's for sure. It'll probably take me some time to try and think of some others. I've seen so many of these guys appearing at like World Economic Forum things. It just breaks my heart. Morgan Freeman, um, Harrison Ford, so many of them. Like it hurts. They don't realize how much it hurts when we see them doing this. So I've just come off the back of seeing some footage and some reviews of the new Lilo and Stitch live action remake. Why do they call it live action when it's like most of the creations in it are CGI? How many live action is it? A more realistic version of it, perhaps. But yeah, I'm really not a fan of this live action remake. I can't see the point other than easy cash, keep hold of the IP, perhaps. But there is no way that entertainment is the reason for these. Re-release them in the cinema. Just re-release these original films. People will go and watch them. There is so much love for these original films, and the excuse of, oh, we want to bring this to a new generation. Well, that's just bullshit. If you want to bring something to a new generation, well, just show it to them. Introduce them to it. Young children should be introduced to these incredible films that we had the privilege of watching when we were watching these adventures. Goonies, Flight of the Navigator, Back to the Future, Gremlins, all these incredible films that we got to experience. Independence Day, Indiana Jones. There were so many films where it was an experience. Going to the cinema was an experience. I can remember certain films I will never forget, and I'm glad I saw it in the cinema. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And it's an amazing experience at the cinema. Everybody was invested, incredible. And that was one film I can remember where people clapped at the end of it. Jurassic Park, another amazing experience to be there. Absolutely amazing. So glad that I saw it. I fear we're taking this away from people, and I fear children are not getting the excitement that we had. If you want to introduce children to Lilo and Stitch, just get them to watch Lilo and Stitch. You know, you just to me you're insulting their intelligence to go, no, 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 they're too stupid to watch an older film. They need the new product which they can easily consume. I don't agree with that. I think you're really underestimating children. You don't take something like the Mona Lisa. Oh, we want to introduce the Mona Lisa to a new generation. Let's paint a new one. No, the same one draws people in all the time. It doesn't need to be a new one. So, what did I watch last night that amused me? What was this? Not called The Pledge as I originally thought it was. It's just called Pledge. And yeah, this entertained me. I would say worth a watch. I'm not saying this is a masterpiece because it clearly isn't. However, kudos to the filmmakers for this because they've put effort into this. There is effort has gone into this, some good set pieces. The acting is not too bad. Acting's all right in this, and brace yourself for what I'm about to say because this is the one thing that really caught my attention. This, are you ready? Likable characters. I know. How often do you see that? I really enjoyed these guys. Um, I really enjoyed these guys. They were. Let's see if I can actually get them on the screen. Where are they? There they are. Yeah, I enjoyed these guys. Very likable, very relatable, and I was rooting for these guys, big time. one of the things I would say was, if you have ever watched a horror film, and I'm sure you have, like myself, you would have avoided the situation these people were in this film, because it was as clear as day that dodgy things were going on. So what it's about is a group of nerdy kids, as you saw there from that clip. They want to be cool. They want to go to the cool parties, as you would, and they can't get into any of these parties. And randomly, out of the blue, this stunning girl asks them to come to this like frat party, and they can't believe their luck. So they all turn up to it, and it's all a crazy night. There's all sorts of debauchery and drugs and drinking, all sorts going on. They're having a great time. They're just like, this is the best night of our lives. They then get invited to go back and pledge, there it is, to become members of this frat. And they have to agree to do it. And they have to agree for the next 48 hours that they are going to be put through trials to see if they can break them, to see how worthy they are of this frat. And yeah, things get ramped up pretty quickly. I was quite shocked with it, because I think it's because these kids look really young in this. They really look young. These aren't like your older kids that are going in. You're sort of I know what you did last summer, guys. You know, your Final Destination guys. They're kind of older teens or younger 20s, whereas these guys they just look young. You know, they look very young, very naive, completely unprepared for the world and everything that happens, and they are thrust into this environment, this situation where some things are going to happen. They're really going to be fighting for their lives. It escalates immediately, very quickly. As soon as they agree to take the pledge, things escalate straight away. And yeah, I really felt for these kids. I really did. And they did a good job at keeping me entertained. And I was rooting for them the whole way through this film. I would suggest not watching the trailer for this. I'm giving you a bit of a description so you know what it's like. There's quite a few things in the trailer which are going to give away bits that I didn't know about when I went into this film. And seeing it coming up without knowing anything about what was happening definitely added to the shock factor and the tension. So yeah, this was a pretty tense film. And other than them agreeing from this hot girl to go to this frat thing, which anybody who's ever watched a horror film would be like, yeah, okay, this is a trap, clearly. Other than that, the majority of the things these kids do in this film is pretty sensible and what you would do in these situations. It's like, yeah, I can see that you would do that. That's where you'd be going. That's what you'd be doing. You would have figured things out by now. So other than when they went to this party in the first place, there wasn't really anything in this where I was just like, okay, this just would never happen. But yeah, things do escalate, and I would not say this is gory like Saw. It's not like that. But there's some moments in this. There's one in it that's pretty disgusting, and it's not gory, but it's just disgusting to look at, and I struggled watching it. So good luck with that if you watch it. This did remind me of a few films actually, and if you watch it all the way through, you see what I'm talking about. You'll get it as well. You'll understand. So a couple of films this reminded me of. There's a really random film. I might cover this one actually. It's called Vile, if you've heard of it, where a little bit like Saw, they get lured into this like basement, and they've all got these little things attached on the back of their head, and they have to hurt themselves in order to fill these things up to get out of this room. For some reason, it reminded me of that a little bit. It reminded me of Saw, obviously, and without giving too much away, if you watch the full film, you will see it reminded me of Martyrs a little bit. I know Martyrs has got its own fan base. That is definitely one messed up film. And it did remind me of Martyrs just a little bit with some of the things that happen in it. There is a twist that I didn't see coming. Bit of a twist in it. So enjoy that when it happens. And I'm going to say this is definitely worth a watch. The ending was an ending. I wanted more. I wanted more from the ending. That's what I got, so not much I can do about it. But I didn't feel fully fulfilled and satisfied with the ending. I felt they potentially could have done a bit more with it, and perhaps there's a little bit of an ambiguous ending where something may or not be as it seems. I'm not quite sure. I haven't made my mind up on that yet. I may have to have a second viewing. But this entertained me. I found this enjoyable. I found the acting perfectly adequate. I found, apart from the other guys, I found our protagonists, our gang, I found them very likable, very rational, very sensible, and I certainly felt an air of brotherly friendship between them. You know, they were trying to stick up for each other, trying to help each other. I really felt that. I really did. And I like that. I just really enjoyed that friendship group. Very likable characters. And that is not often something that you'll find in a film. So, yeah, okay, this isn't a masterpiece. This isn't the greatest film that's ever made, but it is definitely worth a watch. I think you will get some enjoyment out of it. And it's still better than anything Hollywood is churning out on the old consumer belt. Just made that up. The old consumer belt. It's like a conveyor belt, but it's a consumer belt, and it's just consume, 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 consume next product, eat, consume next product, watch this, next product. So yeah, if you want to amuse yourself, go and watch Pledge. And of course, if you've seen it, put in some comments below. Let me know what you think about it. And if you do go and watch it and you come back, also let me know what you think about it, because I'd certainly like to know what you think about the ending. So there you go, guys. Pledge. Until next time, have a nice evening, and I shall see you soon.